Grand Rising, everyone. I wanted to do the weekly energy read, and I know that it's 4 days late because normally I do these on Sundays. However, I was traveling recently and was unable to do it on a Sunday, and so I still wanted to do it, but I might be switching up the days that I do it on, as my 3D physical career is currently changing. So I might have to do it on a different day. I don't know. I might not have to. But we'll just have to see. I should have found a frequency before I started the video. That's what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Do this. All right. Okay, so once again, pulling from the Zodiac Oracle, the current energy is Moon in Virgo with Saturn. So I'm gonna read to you about the Moon in Virgo. Read to you what I've written when I looked into the energy. Okay? The Moon governs our inner emotional world, subconscious needs, and default reactions, the unseen, what is hidden. Now, if you have a Virgo moon, which means that would be a birth chart placement. If your moon sign is in Virgo, then this message is absolutely for you. However, I am reading current energy with oracle cards for this week. So, this energy says our emotional foundation could be highly analytical, observant, and service-oriented. You could process your feelings through logic rather than letting yourself just feel them. You gotta feel it to heal it. That's a little short I've made in the past, but it's very true. However, when you are in this energy, you tend to observe, categorize, and intellectually deconstruct your feelings instead of allowing yourself to be swept away by emotions. This is very true for me right now. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've recently gone through some kind of something with God. and it's been a balancing of my emotional body, and it's really helped me to look at things differently so that I don't get so hung up on why people do the things that they do, or hung up on the fact that a lot of people around me don't want me to be happy. They just want me to be miserable like them. Just stuff like that. Like, I'm able to see it from a higher perspective. And yeah, it's like an emotional healing of some sort, or level up, maybe. An upgrade, whatever you want to call it. You often express care and feel most emotionally secure by being useful to others. People pleaser. Your love language could be acts of service. So, there are, I can't remember, 5 love languages. If you know about them, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know the love languages, I would encourage you to look into that. Just Google it. What are the love languages, or what are the 5 love languages? Whatever. It'll pop up. Maybe I'll do a video at some point about that, but yeah, so one of the love languages is acts of service. So if you hold this kind of Moon and Virgo energy, not necessarily the placement, because this is stuff that's resonating for me, and I don't have a Virgo moon. I have a Sag moon. I do have Virgo in my birth chart, though. And if you don't know your birth chart, I would encourage you to go online and look it up so that you can better understand yourself and the way you operate. And it can very much help you, and also help you learn who you truly are. You crave order, so a cluttered environment or chaotic schedule can easily trigger anxiety for you. This is true for me, and it's very true for me, and why I value self-care over what society expects of me. You know? You find comfort and emotional safety in positive spaces, predictable routines, and organization. Structure. A structured life and schedule. That's what I feel a call to right now. And that's what I've been working on most currently in my present moment. Kind of, was being more present in the present moment so that I could establish organization and structure and a non-chaotic work schedule and life schedule, and be able to manage. My kitty just joined us there for a moment, Sophie Solf. But yeah, and there you may not be to that point in your journey, or that might come, wanting or craving this and actually putting it into action and living it and living in it could be something you've already done. I think that we all operate differently. Our journeys are all unique, as are we. So you could go through different steps on the journey at different times than someone else and still be on the same journey, if that makes sense. So if you don't already have a pull or already have an established organized routine and work life and home life and everything is balanced, I feel like this energy that's coming in is going to aid and assist you in doing those things if you're on the healing journey, right? Because your soul is going to naturally start to crave a sense of order. Because when you understand and realize where certain energies come from, you will understand and know that chaotic energy does not come from God. God doesn't want us to feel chaotic, stressed out, high cortisol levels, damaged and shocked nervous system. You're always on 10. You're always running and going, and you think that you're still not getting anything done. And maybe you are, and maybe you aren't. I know when I have chaotic energy in my life, it's very hard to get things done in an organized and orderly fashion, if you will. And I'd like to have a peace. I like to be surrounded by peace, a peaceful environment. Also, I know I get to that in here, but like a pristine surrounding. But we'll get to that as I continue to read. Not pristine, but clean, and organized to some degree, as much as possible. It helps with mental health issues too. not to have clutter around you, and so on and so forth. You are constantly looking for ways to improve your skills, your environment in life, which makes you extremely competent, whether people want to admit that or not, or tell you. You are extremely competent, okay? The challenge is harsh self-criticism or perfectionism. Now, while I see the value in doing things right, that's one of the things my dad used to tell me. If you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. Like some of the one-liners he used to tell me and my sister were like truly wisdom wrapped up in a sentence. And I feel like some of the most wisest quotes I hear still when I like to see quotes, and I do like to look into the indigenous and Native American, style, because they were people of little words. But the words people like that, when they do speak, they're very wise. You know what I'm saying? But, anyway, so the challenge with this energy can be, that we get too self-analytical and perfectionism comes out. And, because I have this issue, I'm going to be real with you. I'm a perfectionist. I have Virgo in my North Node. So I've only felt a call to this kind of energy more recently in my life, since I started the journey. I've always felt that way, though, and was a people pleaser and bled my energy out when I was unhealed and unawakened, pouring myself out to everyone around me, wanting them to love me, when really what was taking place was God was trying to get me to come home to myself, to my higher self, to be a united, like that's the divine homecoming. When your old self meets the lower self meets the higher self, and then there's a healthy balance that takes place in your life. And the good traits are heightened and the bad traits are worked on and aren't gone. That's the shadow. So your shadow's never gone. It's just balanced. You've got control over it. One of my bigger issues, if you want to call it that, or things that I have to work on and have been working on and need to continue to work on, is patience and not being so quick to anger, to not be impulsive and act from an emotional standpoint. And that is always going to be important for anyone who has an impulsive nature and a tendency to react in a heightened emotional state. That is not a good time to act on things, because you need to go for a walk, as I used to say. Go for a walk, let it cool off, and let your mind calm down and everything, and then reapproach whatever problem it is at that point. But it is not a healed way of going about things, and that's one of the things I've been healing for myself. But it's the journey, and you're always learning. And if anybody ever tells you that you get to a point and you'll know everything and you don't have to learn anything else, or people tell you they believe that to be true about themselves, that's not healthy, and I would suggest that you get away from that person or people, because they are conceited and they're driven by ego, because we will never know everything. You know, that's comparing yourself to God. So I would be weary of doing that, or being around people that is an issue for them, because that's not a good sign. I'm just, I'm always trying to give you guys knowledge and know and wisdom that I've learned so far about discerning people's characters excuse me, and discerning spirits in people, because it's important to be able to do that, because a lot of people out here are wearing masks, which means they aren't being their true self. The self they're presenting to you is not the authentic, true self. So, in turn, they're walking around with a mask on. Literally, no. Spiritually, yes. But if you think that spiritualism, like the 5D, doesn't matter, then you shouldn't be watching me, and I don't want to talk to you. Because the unseen is just as real as what you see. So while there are many good characteristics of this placement, or this energy, the challenge is to not be so self-critical, and to not get caught up in perfectionism. Saturn is often called the cosmic taskmaster. It's early. Okay. That's my excuse, okay? Saturn, now we're going to talk about Saturn, but it's often called the cosmic taskmaster. This can also represent boundaries, limitations, and the limitations and the life lessons we must learn through hard work. That is also a challenge. Who of us doesn't know or haven't wanted ourselves to take the easy route? The easy route usually is, always. The easy route is always going to be from the dark side. And it's going to be of Satan, not of God. Because to work hard and to take the long way around is the way of God, in my opinion. Because the lesson is to do the hard work. Because it brings long-term results. When we take the easy road, it might be easy and fun, and in the moment you're happy and free and whatever, but it's only short-lived. So I know sometimes it can be hard to do the hard work, obviously, but it's best to take the long way. It's best to take it in slow little baby steps and strides if you need to do it that way, which is how I've been doing it. Time is an illusion. God doesn't care how long it takes us, as long as we get it done in a righteous manner. Quick come-ups and stuff like that. I don't recommend that kind of stuff, because I've been there and done that. And that is essentially a trick, and it's a devil's trap. There's no quick come-ups. And if someone's telling you that, or you're involved in something like that, I'm just going to take the risk of just saying that it's probably illegal as well. So I don't recommend thinking that God is going to bless a quick come up that involves illegal activities. You're just going to have to put your nose down and get a real job and work hard for a few years. Save your money and be smart about it. Then that is a quick come up. If you've been all the way to the bottom and have nothing, lost everything you owned, Like, it's going to take a minute to recover from that. And I'm just being logical here. And I know how it feels because I've been there. Literally. Lost everything. But I knew that the only way I was going to be able to get everything that I lost back was by doing it with integrity and honor. And that's what I did. So, that's what I would encourage you to do as well. That is the energy right now, guys. And the question is, how will you achieve self-mastery? Notice I said self-mastery. I did not say, how will you master minding everyone else's business and mastering other people in your life? You won't. Guess what? We are here to work on self-mastery. Worrying about ourselves, fixing ourselves, healing ourselves. You know, so yeah, that's the question. How will you achieve self-mastery? Now, I'm going to pull some tarot really quick. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do things the way I feel led to do them and the way God speaks to me. The Spirit. Holy Spirit, what would you have us know about this energy of the moon in Virgo and Saturn, the taskmaster, the empaths, the people pleasers, the people with the organized schedules, and what would you have us know about it, Spirit? Enlightened spirits and messengers of the divine. Okay. Page of Cups. Creative opportunities, intuitive messages, curiosity, possibility, happy surprise, dreamer, sensitivity, and new love. Okay, so that's great. Like, because we are in this energy, it's, you know, and for those of us getting into this energy, there are going to be creative opportunities. It sounds like kind of like downloads, intuitive messages. So we're going to get messages from the divine and God on what to do. And the Page of Cups also can represent, and on the love side, new love, or sometimes it can be representative of like an apology. Because pages are messengers, I believe, considered messengers. Okay, death. So, endings bring new beginnings, right? Change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis of a cycle. So, there are those of us in the collective right now, on all different levels, but we're all on the same path, right? You know, pretty much. So, we're just at different stages on the journey, because this isn't a marathon, okay? This is a journey that you walk on. Walk, not run. And so, just like we're human, we have to stop along the way, rest. We're gonna have an enemy come out of the bushes. We're gonna have to defend ourselves real quick. Strategize a battle plan and protect ourselves, or go to war, whatever it requires us to do. And I'm talking this journey I'm talking about is a spiritual journey. So when I say go to war, that means spiritually. I don't like three-dimensional war, and it doesn't Like, I don't want to get into politics right now, though, so I'm not going to. So yeah, endings bring new beginnings. So we're getting new opportunities, possibly new love, end of cycles. And I don't know about the rest of you, but like, I'm ready for that. And I'm a Scorpio, so death doesn't scare me. And the death card shouldn't be feared. Sometimes in a reading, it can come out as literal, the 3D. But, I mean, right now, this is spiritual, not that. So I'm not going to say that anything like that is going to be happening in or around your life, like, physically. But what I am going to say is that if you've been going through a level up, then you've been going through a death and a transformation. Like the phoenix burns up and rises from the ashes. Like, we do that over and over and over on this journey. The first time is usually associated with your awakening in the dark night of the soul. But even after you've awoken, you're going to keep leveling up. So it's like these tiny deaths along the way. So just know that. And if you're not consistently leveling up, and I do know some people that think that it only is something that only happens once. And it's like, okay, sure, yeah. But those are the kind of people I kind of get wary of, because it's like, you just, all you did was awaken. Like, are you refusing the level ups that God's offering you? Because if you're on this journey and you do the work and you operate the way you're supposed to operate in the right kind of energy, you're going to keep leveling up. It's not like, oh, I climbed up to this little plateau on this side of this mountain, this massive mountain, so I must be done, right? Not if you were supposed to climb the mountain. God didn't say go a little ways and then stop. I don't believe that he says that. So, all right, King of Swords. So we're putting our head over heart. That's basically what that was. I was just reading, right? Learning to put your head over heart, not in an unhealthy way, but in a way that is gonna keep you balanced along your way, because eventually on your journey, you're gonna get to a place and you're gonna realize, like, hurt people. There are people out there that are never going to want to see good for you. And while you can get, like I did for a while, hung up on that and trying to understand it, and it's not meant for you to understand, though. All you have to do is walk into a room and everyone feels threatened, and because they think you're so intense. Your energy's intense, so they're afraid. Like, what are you afraid of? You know what I mean? But you can't get hung up on that kind of stuff. Or you walk in a room and before you say anything, all eyes are on you, and you know what if you know, you know. But like, you can get caught up in that and trying to understand. Like, I'm always nice, I'm authentic, I show up, like, with truth, and people don't like truth, though, I've learned. Excuse me. People don't like truth. Like, some people are ready to fight you for telling the truth. But see what I mean? Now I'm doing it again, on live, or on camera. So we can't get caught up on stuff like that. I don't care anymore. I really don't. And God's blessed me with that gift recently. I can't care, because if I do, I would get hung up and it would slow my progress And I wouldn't be flowing and moving forward if I was always getting caught up on, why doesn't that person like me? It's because you reflect back to them something about themselves that they don't like, and they're projecting it onto you because they don't know how to heal, and they don't know how to go within and see themselves for who they really are. So they're going to attack you every time you come around. That's why. And we just have to walk with Christ and the Most High and our our divine team. And I mean, because a lot of people in this world aren't going to like you if you're on this journey. And that's going to have to be something that you're going to have to make peace with eventually, if you haven't already. And I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. Forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. Literally. Disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. Yeah. God has given us authority over the enemy. Go read Psalm 91. That is one of my favorite scriptures. And anytime I feel like they're coming for me, I go, because I have a Bible app. I like to read too, but I like hearing the King James Version because that's what my dad used to read. And it's like poetry almost. So to me it is. So I like to and the AI guy that reads the scripture is like British or something, and it's a man's voice. So it's just really cool. But anyway, you can listen to it or read it. But okay, the kitties are going crazy in here. Oh, there's a moth. Okay. Moths could be significant. You know, they are for me recently. And it's representative. They can be representative of a transformation, which is very appropriate as we have Scorpio and death out here in the reading. The King of Swords is Taurus, Gemini energy. So earth and air. The head over the heart. That's that Moon and Virgo energy I was just reading about, basically. So, yeah. And then I got the Five of Cups, regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, loss, and grief. So we could be, you could be going through, I know I have been recently, it's called the grief of awakening. Sometimes it can be hurtful to awaken. When God shows you new things and, you really have to see things for what they are, sometimes it can be painful. Like, dang, God, did I really need to know that? But yes, you do. You do need to know stuff. And if he's, putting something in front of your face, you need to realize it. And but you need you need a minute to process it and just tell him that. You're like, okay, God, I've got all I can take right now. Because he'll never give us more than we can handle, right? That's what the scripture promises. God keeps his promises. And if you tell him that, I need a minute to process this before we can keep going with more enlightening moments, or whatever your situation is specifically to you, and he'll give you a minute to process it, and help you through it, and send people into your life that are going to help you through it as well, that also understand it and resonate with you on that level. And if you're watching this video, I'm one of those people. I hope I am. What's the advice? The Nine of Pentacles is the advice. I'm going to get two more. Fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. I've been praying for that for the last 3 years. But was not taking the correct steps to bring that in for myself. So, this is the advice. Possible outcome is, yeah, our fruits of labor are coming in, right? What's the advice or outcome to the Spirit? Okay, see, I told you guys in a past reading, if I tell Spirit I want 3 cards, they give me, Spirit gives me like 5, 6. And because I asked for 3 just a second ago, I'm getting more than 3. We're going to have 5 cards for the possible outcome and advice. The Sun. Okay? The Sun is positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. Sophie Soph, what are you doing, Soph? The Page of Swords. New ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, restless mental energy. So, new ideas can be coming in too, but there might be a little mental unrest and a little anxiety in the energy right about now. I was feeling that yesterday. I don't know about any of you, but I felt like just out of the blue, really anxious. Yeah. Okay. My cat's distracting me here. I need to wrap this up. The Emperor. Okay. Oh. Why can't you guys play with that outside? The Emperor. Respect. Leadership. Stability. Structure. Rules and power. Authority. Father figure. Protection. Control. Discipline. Focus. Practicality. This is Aries energy, fire. So yeah, like I said, like you could be what is the representative of the Emperor? Order, justice, like focus, like, we got a protection, control, like not in an unhealthy way, but to have a disciplined life, personal life, work life schedule. That is going to help all of us, no matter where we are in the journey or where we're headed to in our journey. I would advise you to have a strict cleansing and protection and warding. Incorporate those things into your schedule. Because just like there's goodness for us, there are always going to be entities and people who want to come against us, because our light irritates their demons, and that's just the way it is. There is no getting emotional about it or trying to understand it or asking God why. It's just it is, okay? So if you're of the light, you're always going to be going through it, and you're just going to you're going to get to a level where you're going to feel the protection of the Most High God. You're not just going to speak it over yourself. You're not just going to know it, but you're going to feel it. And know that nothing can harm you. Right? So, but then you want to stay on top of it, because, like I was trying to explain this to my sister recently, that the reason I like to do cleansing with smoke and different ways, and I have a strict cleansing routine for my home and my energy and my aura, is because Jesus is already in my soul. But my immediate environment, I'm surrounded by demonic stuff. I'm not surrounded by that. I'm getting distracted again. Cats, go. Go outside, babies. Go. Go play with the moths outside. Okay? Go on, Sophie Soph. Go play. You're distracting Mama. Okay? The moth is gone. I picked it up and threw it. It's outside. Go outside, Sophie Soph. Okay, I'm going to shut the window. You want to go outside? Sophie, go outside. Go outside, Sophie. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. Go outside, Sophie. Come on, go outside. Mama's gonna shut the window. Don't want any more moths in here. Thank you. Okay, sorry. And then the tower. We got this in the Divine Masculine read, I believe it was, yeah. So, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. Yeah. Once again, fire, Mars, and Scorpio energy. There is a lot of Scorpio energy, which is and the moth. You know, it's all transitions, endings, new beginnings. And so what happens with endings and new beginnings? Sudden change. Whether we're ready for it or not, sometimes it will happen. And we just have to rely on the Most High and go to Him about everything. And He will get us through the tower moments in our life. But I believe there are good towers and bad towers. I believe if you've been walking with the Most High, you're not going to have the chaos kind of tower. You're going to have sudden change. You're going to have sudden insight, a release, an awakening. Not a disaster and not chaos. But when we are in a world of chaos, when we have surrounded ourselves with low energies, sometimes those towers can be chaotic and disastrous. So it just depends on what kind of energy you're setting in. So you'll have to be your own leader of discernment in this message as to where you are in this energy, because this was an energy read. And I hope you enjoyed it. I am so sorry about my cats just distracting me, and but anyways, I love you guys, and I'm sorry this weekly energy reading was late, but yeah, I still got it done, and I might be switching up the days like I said, but I'll see you guys soon with another message. Love you, bye.